Namaste, sir. I'm a bit late. Which book is this?
Now, this is the secret language of your body.
Ah, oh, okay.
Oh,
The
the one before.
difference
Okay.
for the 99 pages to 309 pages.
Oh,
A
okay.
different author, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There is no accident of wealth or inheritance. One who overvalues the pleasures and indulgences which money can buy and uses his money to procure these must be without money at some time and feel the need of it. The misuse of money brings poverty. The right use of money brings independence and honest wealth. Money properly procured gives physical conditions for comfort, enjoyment, and work for self and others. One who is born of honorable and wealthy parents or who inherits money has earned it by his thought and actions. There is no accident of wealth or of inheritance by birth. So pretty much he earned only by through his thoughts and actions,
Hmm.
the inheritance of money.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go down. Group destiny. Group destiny is the destiny which affects alike a certain number of people. Their thoughts have made that destiny for them. Members of a family may have a certain destiny in common. They have the same ancestry, traditions, and honor, and are related to a locality and share to a certain extent social and cultural connections. Often, the common density is the lack of all this except locality and ancestry. Sometimes, similar physical features appear among the members of a family and are designated as hereditary. In some families, the members continue to be reborn through several lives. They receive what they have given to the family name and standing or have allowed to happen to it. Oh, oh, because of that similar features, they keep
Yeah.
reborn into the family.
No, not only that. See,
Uh,
because of the patterns that dictate the terms, all the common entities will be grouped together. So, common,
okay,
yeah,
thoughts.
correct.
Okay. Group destiny may affect the members of a family for one or two generations only, or they may extend through centuries. People are drawn into a family and kept there by similarity of thought. As long as that similarity lasts, the family is held together. So as long as that thought is similar as lasts for
Basically,
the
it means the thought energy or the pattern energy. As long as it is completely consumed, till then, it will keep on
yes.
influencing.
So that group thoughts, similar thoughts are holding together.
Correct, correct.
Formerly, land ownership with entail or mere living in a locality was the means of establishing and perpetuating a family. In modern times, the thought has changed and land is no longer the chief means of continuing a family.
Hmm.
Sometimes mutually hostile thoughts draw people into the same family and its group destiny. Oh, even hostile thoughts. Persons share in the group destiny, that is, the physical conditions of their community because their thoughts had or have something in common. These bring them into the same hamlet or town with common conditions and interests. Though separate destinies in such communities vary, there is some bond of common thought that draws persons into and keep them in the locality.
Hmm.
There they have common language, physical environment, neighborhood, customs and pleasures. There they intermarry and there meet a common fate in times of prosperity, adversity, epidemic, fire, inundation or war. So basically, yeah, they go through the similar
They go
circumstances.
through similar experiences.
Yes.
I think it sounds like
People are
we've already done this. I'm feeling that we have, but anyway, let's do it. Chalega.
okay. So what each person receives in a common disaster is an exteriorization of his own past thoughts. If the common fate does not coincide with the cycle of any thought of those present in such a locality, they escape. So it is that there are miraculous exceptions from the general fate when many are brought together or made to suffer, as in a shipwreck, a burning theater, a collapsing building, a flood, or in a religious political persecutions. People are born into a nation or race because their thoughts and the disposition and character made by them draw them there. They make the general spirit, character, peculiarities, and tendencies of the race and develop, strengthen, or change them. The people make the spirit, which is the God of the race, they create it by their thought. It breathes through the representatives of that race, hence comes indifference towards or prejudice against those who do not belong to or who oppose the national spirit. So all who think similarly are drawn to the spirit and are eventually born into the race
where they
where yeah, where they share its group destiny to the extent to which their thoughts can be exteriorized at the time, condition, and place. So they share the group destiny thoughts.
correct.
Generally, the people who are of any race belong there naturally by the degree of development of their doers and bodies. Some, however, are born into a race to get special training. Some because they have persecuted the race, some because they are entitled to special benefits from it, and some because they have to do a certain work for it. All share the group destiny. So even they choose if they want to work for that community. Yeah.
Correct.
At the time of an unusual calamity, as in periods of famine, defeat in war, oppression by the hostile nation, uprising and lawlessness, outsiders are there to share the group destiny. These outsiders are born into a race as naturally as those who belong to it, so as to be there at the time when these disasters happen. They have exteriorized to them through the public calamity what they have attracted to themselves by their own thoughts. The same is true of those doers who come in to participate in a period of achievement, refinement, and splendor.
Correct. So whether it is that of what we consider negative, or whether it is what we consider positive, both of them are, none of them is by chance. It could be you do it as a group, or you come and join that group in the last moment, and you become the victim there. Like someone
Yes.
who wants to travel has not traveled, but someone else has traveled. And in travel, in that particular day's travel, they have distributed some gifts to all the passengers.
Yes, yes. And someone missed the flight in the last minute because of the traffic.
I remember I had one such experience when I traveled on an Independence Day. It was double benefit. That day they released a new cassette on with a set of Independence Day songs. So I became a recipient of that.
Yeah, very good. Yes.
So that way we do get those kind of experiences. Yeah.
Rise and fall of a nation. The rise or a fall of a nation is due to a particular thought which becomes the national thought. The same thought that is exteriorized in the power and greatest achievement of a nation is often the cause of its decline, fall, and disappearance. A set of people generates the thought and develops it. Others are drawn in by the similarity of their thoughts and aid in the building of a nation through the exteriorization of its dominating thought. Some thoughts are powerful enough to keep a nation up for centuries before it is given over to inferior doers or sinks away or is effaced. The complete disappearance of people like the Carthaginians, the Egyptians, or the ancient Greeks is evidence that at the crucial times where there were not enough people to give to the national thought, a new impetus that would carry the nation through the accumulating exteriorizations of its past thoughts. So that is how all these nations at one time, they were very great. They completely ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Got
that is one. See, for example, you take the Parsi community today. The number of people in the Parsi community can be counted on the fingers,
Yes.
right? That entire clan is moving away.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a time and its span does not exceed 50 years in which every nation might have disappeared as a political entity under the weight of its destiny. The thoughts of every nation, whether it be a republic or a monarchy, or the collective thoughts of its people. If these thoughts are and have been in the past directed towards individual advantage or public conquest, to deceit or oppression, they are exteriorized in public calamities. These thoughts would make an end of the political entity as a state, but nearly always there is someone who has broader vision and creates a new thought or a new feeling or a modification of those which exist. In this, he is assisted by some of the complete triune selves who watch and help the world. Oh, okay. So in that such a case, complete balanced triune self try to help to protect the nation or what? Yeah, the group. Thus, the nation gets over the critical period. Of course, no one man alone could save a nation. There must be sufficient number of persons who support the regenerating thought, and if they can obtain a preponderance of thought, the nation goes on. Otherwise, it declines.
See,
Men
I
are
think this is where probably, what is his name? What Matthias? In Gaia.com.
Stefan
Ah.
Matthias.
Stefan Matthias. He says, there are people like us. And Patriji used to say that there are light workers all around us.
yeah. Men are self-indulgent and act with selfish ends in view. To acquire and increase possessions, to have a personal comfort and safety, and to wield power are the motives of their thoughts. Treason and evasion of military duty in war, monopolies, tax dodging, and special privileges in peace are extreme cases, and almost everyone is interested in public matters only to the extent of the personal advantages he expects. Men seek little favors here and big gifts there, knowing that they will profit thereby at the expense of the public or of justice. Almost everyone adds to the general tendency towards corruption in public institutions. Some persons are active under the sting of selfish interest. Most are indolent and inert from love of ease. There are many men who would be good officials, but they are not available. The people do not appreciate and will not uphold a just official, but they forsake him and leave him a disappointed man. So they do not get the best men. And if they do get intentioned men, well-intentioned men, they usually force them to protect themselves by compliance or by corruption. Same thing happens. We see all the time. Therefore, public officials, monarchies, oligarchies, democracies are as bad as they are. They are the representatives of the people. In them, the thoughts of the people have taken form. Those who are not in office would do as the present officials do, or even worse, if they had the opportunity. Corrupt officials can hold office and sinecures.
Yeah, sinecures. Only
so long as the thoughts of the people are depraved. Oh, they can hold the office as long as these people.
See, if all the people unite and say we are not going to support the corrupt fellows.
Yes. And if there is a division, people who support, then he will fall.
Correct.
Cruel barons would appear the people clear barons could suppress the people only as long as the majority of the people, if they had been in the baron's place, would have done as the barons did.
Hmm.
Despots have lived only because
They embodied
only
yeah.
embodied the ambitions and desires of the people over whom they ruled. Oh, despots have lived only because they embodied the ambitions and desires of the people over whom they ruled. The Catholic Inquisition to suppress heresy existed as long as it expressed the thoughts of the people. Monarchy. When the thoughts of the people demand a change, the better a man usually appears to fight for it. He expresses their thoughts, but usually they forsake him when his actions need their support. When it is a question of choice between the public interest and their private interest, the private interest prevails.
This is
Usually,
Christ. I think one example we can think of is Jesus Christ himself.
yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, correct. Usually, those who complain of misrule, taxes, extortion, or other injustice would themselves be guilty of such wrongs if only they could commit them with impunity. The persons in power, whether in a despotism or in a democracy, are those who can discern and use human weaknesses and at the same time have more vigor and are willing to take more risks than the multitude.
Correct.
Facts of history.
Hmm.
The actual facts of history are little known. Glorification of their nation and religion in school books, section of favorable topics on public occasions, suppression of facts, a catchphrase here and there are what all who are not close observers of history get concerning it. Yes, even in this country they complain about it. Yes.
Right.
The weak, because they modify the history book according to their people who are ruling. The weaknesses and misdeeds of individuals and the inertia, incompetence, and corruption of those engaged in public and national affairs usually remain hidden from all but the law. Largely from these unobserved facts come the group destiny of oppression, injustice, war, revolutions, heavy taxes, strikes, pauperism, and epidemics. Those who complain of these misfortunes are among their contributory causes. So, people who complain, they are contributing. This is very good.
While you are reading this, what thoughts crossed my mind is what's happening with Trump and his moves in the US currently. Right?
I completely agree. Yes.
You see,
Because
he is doing it with a particular intention with which people brought him to power. Right?
yes.
And in the process, all these things are definitely going to happen.
Yes.
I was thinking exactly the same, Chandra sir.
Yeah.
It's just the same thought about currently what's going on here.
And the previous para stands testimony to the messages that we are picking up. Right, the previous para, the weaknesses and misdeeds of individuals and the inertia, incompetence and corruption of those engaged in public and national affairs usually remain hidden from all but the law. So law will prevail slowly over a period of time. Yeah, let's continue.
Right. Seemingly unimportant things may be factors in physical destiny. Only a portion of what man eats can be used by him. That which he cannot use belongs to the earth. So only a portion of what man eats can be used by him. That which he cannot use belongs to the earth. He should return to the earth in a sanitary way. The refuse of the body after he has used the food which the earth has yielded for him. A community which conducts its waste and putrescent, that is the expelled matter, into a river or lake does wrong. So when you throw unnecessary stuff into a river, it is wrong. Such matter befouls the water. Many diseases and epidemics in cities have been caused thereby. This is a group destiny. So that means you are polluting the environment, and
Correct.
that is how you are getting back the diseases.
Group destiny continues.
Group destiny is a destiny which affects like a certain number of people. Their thoughts have made that destiny for them. Members of a family may have a certain destiny in common. They have the same ancestry, traditions, and honor are related to a locality and share to a certain extent social and cultural connections. Often, their common destiny is the lack of all this except locality and ancestry. Sometimes, similar physical features appear among the members of a family and are designated as hereditary.
They are
In
not
some families,
hereditary, but they are called hereditary.
mm,
Hmm.
because of their thoughts of similar thoughts, they got the similar. Okay, yeah.
Correct.
In some families, the members continue to be reborn through several lives. They receive what they have given to the family name and standing or have allowed to happen to it. Group destiny may affect the members of a family for 1 or 2 generations only, or may extend through centuries. I don't know why centuries. I don't. Okay. People are drawn into a family.
No. See, that could be an exception.
Okay.
There is one influencing energy, probably based on the common bad that they have done, that it will come back to them.
Like even in a monastery also,
Ah,
it happens, I guess, yeah. In some families, the members continue to be reborn through several lives. They receive what they have given to the family name and standing or have allowed to happen to it. Group destiny may affect the members of a family for 1 or 2, okay, or may extend through centuries. People are drawn into a family and kept there by similarity of thought. As long as that similarity lasts, the family is held together. Formerly, land ownership with entail or mere living in a locality was the means of establishing and perpetuating a family. In modern times, the thought has changed and land is no longer the chief means of continuing a family. Sometimes mutually hostile thoughts draw people into the same family and its group destiny. Persons share in the group destiny, that is, the physical conditions of their community, because their thoughts had or have something in common. These bring them into the same hamlet or town with common conditions and interests. Though the separate destinies in such communities vary, there is some bond of common thought that draws persons into and keeps them in the locality. They have a common language, physical environment, neighborhood, customs, and pleasures. There they intermarry and there they meet a common fate in times of prosperity, adversity, epidemic, fire, inundation, or what. I thought I have gone through same thing, isn't it, before?
no, it sounds very similar. I don't know why it
Uh,
is repeated.
We
Yeah,
have
sounds-
we
covered
have
that.
gone through this whole thing.
yeah,
In
it is
24,
all.
I think.
Why is it got repeated? Facts of history. I think this we will continue from here. You are very right, ma'am. I was also thinking
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Agents of the law. At critical times, certain men arise and accomplish unusual results. Such men are generally unconscious agents of the law. The group destiny of their people calls for an instrument by which the people's thoughts can be exteriorized. A man appears when the thoughts of his people demand him. No one man of this kind should be attributed all of what he does. So it doesn't mean no one man of this kind should be attributed all of what he does. He acts because he is impelled to act and because he is allowed to see the way to accomplish his purpose. Some such men in the last century were Palmerston, Bismarck, Cavour, Mazzini, and Garibaldi. The English spirit of the past made Lord Palmerston, kept him in office, and produced during his long rule the results obtained for Britain through him. Bismarck was a Persian. What is Persian? I don't know.
I don't
He
know.
was in himself an able and powerful man But what made him successful was the time, the place, and the conditions, which allowed the thought of Prussian schooling, administration, militarism, and power to be exteriorized as the thought of the whole of Germany. In the same way, the Italian thoughts of nationalism and freedom from Austrian tyranny and papal misrule were expressed in the success of a cavern. Okay, but basically the same way Obama, the right time he came and he won both two times. Sometimes the agents of the law are conscious agents. Washington, Hamilton, Lincoln, and Napoleon were of this kind. Washington knew that he was to be the true leader of men and the founder of a new nation. Hamilton actually knew that he had to lay truly the foundations of American finance and government. Lincoln knew that he had to preserve the Union, and he acted as best as he could with the selfish and fanatical forces surrounding him. He accomplished the purposes with which he was charged by the intelligence he spoke of as God.
Hmm.
Napoleon's mission to Europe was to remove the old ghosts of dynasties which had kept Europe in turmoil, bloodshed, and servitude for centuries. He was to give these countries an opportunity for a government by the people as a whole. He failed because the French people, though they said they wanted liberty, equality, and fraternity, were quite willing to let Napoleon create a new dynasty and conquer the world for them. He received instructions from some of the agents of complete triumphs. He was to give France a model government, and Europe was to pattern after it if the people would. He was to leave no royal issue, so that he could found no dynasty. His ambition overcame him. He divorced his barren wife and married again so as to have issues. After he had determined on this course, his power began to diminish and he could no longer discern opportunities or provide against dangers. The destiny of the people of Europe exteriorized for him his own weakness and ambition to bring on the reactionary period which lasted there for nearly 100 years. Wow.
No,
Group
no.
destiny is a
Look at this particular sentence once. Right?
So he divorced in those years. I mean, not that long ago, he divorced the first wife and remarried.
No, not
Over and
that. See, what does it mean?
so the ambition, selfishness rule,
He
isn't
switched
it?
over. His purpose was to leave no royal issue.
Yeah, correct.
So that he could found no dynasty. His
So
ambition
that means
overcame. And the moment he took that step, he deviated from the purpose. It harmed him very badly.
So the wife who came from a poor family, he divorced and married a rich wife, rich lady.
No.
Yeah.
Because she was barren, she had no children.
Oh yeah, no children, correct.
And that is where his ambition overcame. He wanted his lineage to continue.
Oh, correct.
I think that
Even though
is why Patriji says after 14 years, let the child grow on its own.
Do not interfere.
Exactly.
So even though his motivation initially was right, the dynasty should not continue, but he did not. He deviated the purpose. That's right.
He deviated and he bore the fruit of it.
Correct. Group destiny is particular.
As you are reading this, I was imagining what's happening with Modi and India.
Correct, because selfishness. See, there is no selfish motive in his, protecting the nation.
And
whenever
And there have been so many attempts to tarnish his image win over elections through fraudulent means and so on, but they have gone nowhere. And those people are meeting their eventual end. I'm talking about the entire group.
Correct.
Same thing that happened in Andhra Pradesh. Same
Correct.
thing is happening in Kerala. Financially, it's going broke. Karnataka. So all these are to be treated as the exteriorization of the group.
Group.
Beautiful.
Group destiny particularly manifests at times when there are sudden changes in methods of government, as when there is a raising of slaves or a revolution and mob rule in the wake of such convulsions.
Correct.
So, always, we see that always, Religion as a group destiny. Religions too belong to group destiny. They develop out of prior religious institutions which no longer fit the times and the thought of the people. Gradually, new views spread and provisions has to be made to allow the former thoughts of coming generations to be exteriorized. Then the subversive attitude of mind spreads until it is so general that the new religion can be supported by it. Upon the scene,
What is happening with the movement of pyramids, etc.? Just try to extend this thought to that.
correct.
All the
Yes.
people
Instead of
who are saying temples, now temples are becoming pyramids.
correct. Instead of temples, now people are in our communities are
Right.
building pyramids.
Yeah.
Upon the scene, so prepared appears a founder of the new religion. Sometimes he remains unknown. The new phase of religion succeeds where many attempts had failed because the time was not yet right to allow them to take hold. A theocracy is the rule by priests in the name of their god or gods. The priests rule. If the gods ever do rule by direct mandate, they soon leave all to their priests who attend who attend to mundane affairs for the benefit of the priestly hierarchy. The priests look after the welfare of the people chiefly for their own prosperity. So this happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
For backward viewers, some features of a theocracy permit a good schooling in morals, just as slavery was permitted to let doers get a training. The morals taught are substantially the same in all religious systems, and are no worse in a theocracy than in other systems. The group destiny of those who live under a theocracy is notable. What exactly he meant theocracy?
Pardon? No, the theocracy is like a community
Okay.
who are dictated by similar pattern. For example, you could say church is an institution. Then this jihad movement, it has attained the complexity of an institution. Slavery, that became a
Okay, got it. So they're all worldly and celestial power. Celestial power is in the hands of priests. So that means, they rule all the lands, offices, possessions, revenues, and exactions of all kinds are obtained by priests in a measure unnecessary for spiritual guides. Their real object is to satisfy their human love of power, luxury, and lust. As long as they unite temporal power with their priestly office, they hold the common people in ignorance, credulity, bondage, poverty, and fear, and cow powerful nobles. So they rule, literally, they demand and rule. So it was
basically a religious fanatism which is becoming a rule or replacing the government with it.
Correct. So it was in India, in Judea, in Egypt, with the Aztecs and during the Dark Ages in countries where the Roman Catholic Church had temporal power. The group destiny of the common people is the exteriorization of their childish thoughts. These keep them in subjects to priests whom they believe to be representatives of God. However, that is usually the only way in which backward doers can be taught morals and can progress at all. Why a person is born into a religion. The person belonging to such a religion are born into it because they belong to it. They are marked by the God of that religion before birth. They can emancipate themselves only by individual thinking. Aside from the group destiny, the individuals, of course, have their own thoughts of greed, hypocrisy, and oppression exteriorized to them in the events which are their destiny. If they have engaged in persecutions as joint enterprises, it may be that they will be together in groups when the arm of the law smites. The priests of any particular religion are not the exceptional in the desire to maintain themselves in power by whatever means they can. The French priest Calvin, the Scotch Presbyterians, priests of the English Church, the Puritans of Massachusetts, including the witch killers of Salem, all were eager to stamp out heresies and were oppressors. Everyone who persecutes others and seeks the supremacy of his own doctrines justifies his atrocity by the claim that he benefits those whom he tortures. However, hypocrisy and the arguments which were a screen in days of theocratic domination are no protection when payment is exacted, and the lessons of tolerance and broad sympathy with humanity has to be learned in the school of the law. The priests, executioners, and mobs meet their destiny singly or in groups. So when they cheat, they will meet, in either in the same life or in the future life.
Correct.
As any theocracy, monotheistic or polytheistic, none of them is, as far as the persons who live under it are concerned, any better or more lenient than the most brutal of barbarous despots. So they're equivalent to that.
Correct.
Each god is jealous of power. Each god is jealous of power, and the priests of one religion declare war on the worshippers of other gods. The gods are not the ones that are killed. People have to pay with their lives during the cruel religious wars of the priests. The gods at the heads of all religions.
Ayatollah Khomeini was one such this one. And what is that author's name who wrote the Midnight Children? Who had to hide himself in Germany, right?
Salman Khurshid.
Salman Khurshid, yes.
Yeah. Rashid, yes, correct. Rashid, yeah. The gods at the heads of all religions are nature gods created by men. They are not intelligences. This is indicated by the fact that they have priests who represent them by the element of fire, air, water, or earth to which they belong, by the senses to which they are related as sights, sounds, tastes, or odors, which are used in rites and symbols in their worship, and by the fact that each of the gods is worshipped collectively and is believed to be exterior. All this may be learned by one or a few in a lifetime, but the majority of the adherents of any religion remain together and experience in groups whatever the destiny, their devotion, sincerity, and honesty, or their prejudice, bigotry, and hypocrisy, or their arrogance, fanaticism, and cruelty in their religious beliefs brings to them. Thus, religions provide group destiny. The group destiny of those who live under a clerical oligarchy is governed by the same law as that which affects the group destiny of those who live under other forms of oligarchical government. Oligarchies of aristocratic landowners, of soldiers, of bureaucrats, of money kings, of political bosses, and of labor leaders all have similar aspects. So they are all similar kind with different motives. Sometimes there are hereditary features in these institutions. However, here as well as in the so-called heredity of a physical body, the hereditary feature is merely a means of working out the destiny, which is always a precipitation and concentration of the thoughts of those who are affected by these forms of government.
Yeah,
The group destiny is over.
correct.
Agents of the
This
law.
is again repeated.
And
Yeah, this is again repeated. Something is wrong with this. Religions as group destiny. I think we have, no, this is also over. Oh, that means the chapter is over.
yeah.
Interesting, but I am interested in knowing why it has got repeated. My mistake in conversion, or
Yeah.
9 out of 100, it will be my mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are we too early? Do we want to do a bit of the other book?
Let's read the other book, Health Issue.
Yeah,
It's
this
very
is
interesting.
very interesting. Right?
Yes. Yes, I agree.
At least the introductory part we should read. Are you all okay with that?
Yeah, I am
Yeah,
okay,
we're
sir.
fine, sir. But what's the book name again? Secret
The
Language.
secret language of your body. Just like what our body is trying to tell us, right?
Uh-huh.
The same thing in terms of what do we learn from our body?
Mhm.
So, in terms of healing and improving the health condition, this is a wonderful read.
You want to record or just
Yeah, I think
ignore it?
we will stop the current recording and